No, apara. Yen, hello, hello. What are you doing?
Help me. Where can I find a network?
Network?
Yes. I have no signal on my phone.
You don't have Airtel 4G?
No.
Here we have Airtel 4G. There is network in the whole village.
Access Airtel 4G network anywhere in Uganda. With you always. Airtel, the smartphone network.
For the first time in Uganda, we are launching a virtual online trade show. Can you imagine having a trade show on your PC, on your mobile phone, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? Stack Online has made it possible. Log on to www.stackonlinetradeshow.com or download our app from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Seek, find, trade with Stack Online.
A very good evening to you once again, and welcome to this exclusive interview with the Foreign Minister of Hungary. Now, this is a development that most Ugandans could actually take in the best of positive, measures, because Hungary is a country that is very well known in so many positive aspects in the country. And with me in the studio this evening to share more about the relationship between Hungary and Uganda, but also Hungary and Africa, but specifically East African community, in as far as trade and other areas of cooperation are concerned, is none other than the Foreign Minister of Hungary, and this is Szijjarto. Sir, good evening and welcome to UBC Tonight.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and I understand this is your first time in Uganda. So, a few hours in the country, how has it been?
I hope I'll be able to return sometimes, because what I have seen has been extremely satisfactory. I think Ugandans can be proud of this country with a good reason. And it's not only a beautiful country, but very kind and nice people. And I can tell you that with some of your leaders, we have personally a very good relationship, which helps when we build the bilateral relationship.
Yes, Your Excellency, actually your visit comes shortly after the visit of the Speaker of the Parliament of Hungary. And to me, my suspicion is that probably there must be some good relationship that's building up, or you're cementing the already good relationship between Uganda and Hungary. Could you expand a little bit on that relationship?
Sure, you know, in Europe, the political discussion is ruled by security issues based on the migratory flows which have hit the European continent. And it is obvious that the security of Europe starts with the security of Africa. And in order to ensure security in Africa, we have to make sure that the African countries get the necessary support from us in order to develop their economies and in order to increase their living standards. And we have picked 3 countries in Africa with which we would like to have a tighter cooperation. One of them is Uganda. So together with my friend Sam, Foreign Minister of yours, we have agreed upon a 16 million euro development program, which is the biggest Hungary has ever executed on a territory of a third country.
Yes, I think Uganda, we are very lucky to have that kind of support. But of course, there must have been some areas of cooperation that you discussed with the Ugandan foreign minister. Could you tell us some of those areas?
Sure. There will be 5 projects to be realized in the framework of this 16 million euro development program. One is on the agricultural side, where a development program for fisheries will be carried out. There will be a project on cybersecurity. Today, the leader of the internal security organization has already shown to me the facility where the new cybersecurity laboratories will be established. There will be a project to develop a biometric identification system for refugees entering the territory of Uganda. There will be a water sanitation facility located at one of your refugee settlements in order to provide 200,000 people on a daily basis with drinkable water. And there will be a digital platform established in order to promote tourism in your wonderfully beautiful country. So these are the areas on which we carry out these investments and these projects. And next to that, we have agreed that we start negotiations on a tide aid credit program as well, where areas of water management, IT, pharmaceutical industry and healthcare will be covered.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that. And you've talked about so many areas, and some of the key areas that you've talked about, there is security and also refugees. Remember, when we talk about security, Uganda is currently in Somalia trying to help that country, fight the Al-Shabaab, but also your country is very well known to be one of the countries in Europe that really, tries to do its best to see that terrorism is fought in the country, and this comes as a good relief to the country. And do you see more cooperation between Uganda and Hungary in as far as fighting terror is concerned in future?
Obviously, we are both part of the international efforts to fight against terror. Terrorism is definitely a phenomenon against which a global coalition must be built. And Hungary has been part of the anti-ISIS global coalition for the last years. We have sent 200 troops to Iraq to fight against ISIS. But we understand that that pushing out ISIS from 98% of the territories they had occupied before is not enough, because now they choose a new strategy. They want to send back their foreign terrorist fighters to Europe, which we have to avoid. And in this regard, we really definitely would like to work together with countries like Uganda, which put the anti-terror fight on the top of their own agenda, which we respect and value a lot. And we understand that, that Uganda is the pillar of the stability of the Eastern African region. And in Europe, it does matter whether there's stability or instability in this part of Africa. If there's stability here, we can rest assured that no further migratory waves will be launched from this region. But if there's no stability here, if there's no peace there, if there's no economic progress here, then we have to take into account further migratory waves from this region as well. And this is something that we should avoid, because since the migration crisis has broken out in 2015 in Europe, the security situation is getting worse and worse. Threat of terror is getting more and more serious, and this is something that needs to be changed. And without a cooperation, without a good and pragmatic and successful cooperation with Africa, this is not gonna work out.
And you also talked about refugees, and the plight of refugees. It's not just an African, problem, but it also trickles down to other parts of the world, Europe as well. And Uganda is the third country in the world that has that's hosting a big number of refugees in the world. And how do you think Hungary can play its role in as far as assisting not only Uganda but other countries in the region to ensure that refugees are given the necessary attention that they deserve?
Our policy is very clear on that. We don't like the policy of Brussels regarding migration, which is basically based on inviting as many people from Africa as it is just possible, which I understand is contradicting the interest of the African countries themselves. So our position is that we have to bring help where it is needed and should not import problems where there are no problems. So in this regard, this development program we have been launching with your government is a part of this principle approach of ours, that help must be brought where there's a necessity. And that's why, for example, we have spent already 24 million euros on supporting the Christian communities in the Middle East, in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Jordan. We have been rebuilding torn down houses of the Christian families who had to flee from their homes. We are rebuilding their churches. We are covering the expenses, operational expenses of their hospitals. We are reconstructing their schools. We help Nigerian communities to return after Boko Haram was leaving. So this kind of approach is there on behalf of us. And today I met the leaders of your Catholic Church here as well. I met the president of the Bishops' Conference and the Secretary General as well, to whom I said that they should put together a project to help the Catholic community and the young people here in Uganda, which we would happily finance as well. And together with the German Ministry of Development, we will finance another water management project here in order to make it sure that the drinkable water supply is guaranteed not only to refugees but to the ordinary citizens of Uganda as well. And this project will be launched sometimes after May. So you see that there's a very wide variety of programs and investments we make in countries which are in need. But what we definitely will not do is to invite people to come to Europe, because we understand that the interest of the African countries is not that their people leave them, because then the question will arise, who will build these countries further.
That's true. And those of you just joining us, this is an exclusive interview with the Hungarian Foreign Minister, His Excellency Pietre Szijjarto, and he's here in the studio to tell us the relationship between especially Uganda, but also this region and Africa in general. Now, Your Excellency, let's look at trade, because today much of what is going on in the world is actually being driven by economics, and trade is one of those things. And we realize that Hungary has actually been doing great business with Northern African countries, and it hasn't been so in East Africa, especially the EAC region. Do you have any plans to see to it that trade in the East African community region is boosted?
Well, actually, we have increased our trade between Uganda and Hungary by 45% last year. Figures are still low, but the trend is encouraging. We have almost reached $10 million, which can be much more, but since we are coming basically from zero, we have to value that. And this development cooperation will, I think, pave the way for the economic and trade cooperation. Today, I have met the Minister of State for Trade as well. And I have expressed my hope that once you're going to sign the economic partnership agreement with the European Union, because that will help the trade to be free of any kind of obstacles and hindrances between Uganda and Hungary. So you can be sure that we will be pushing for much more trade here. With the northern part of Africa, because of geographic reasons, it was easier. It is easier for us to trade with them compared to countries in the eastern part of Africa. But now, as we have found each other with Uganda, as we have been building a very good political relationship, that paves the way for the trade relationship as well. So that's why we are negotiating about this tied aid credit to be financed by the Hungarian Exim Bank, to help the Hungarian companies to appear on your market, to make investments here, to make trade here, and based on that cooperation, then the market-based cooperation will follow. I'm pretty sure about that.
And Your Excellency also talked about provision of water. This is something that is very, very important, and rightly, as you put it, it's not only for the refugees but also Ugandans in general. Now, there is no safe water, for example. You find that that is when diseases crop up and people fall sick, and as a result, they do not play their role in as far as the expanding or promoting supporting the economy of the country is concerned. Now, this one also goes, it actually goes to the Health Ministry. Do you have any plan to deal with the Ministry of Health, because provision of safe water actually also it's cross-cutting, and it goes to the Health Ministry as well?
Yeah, we understand very clearly that water supply is a challenge here, like many other parts of the world, so you are absolutely not unique in that. We understand that step by step you want to get to a situation where almost entire population should have an access to a network with drinkable water, and you should reach the target when all the wastewater, the sewage water is becoming treated. Luckily enough, we as a small country have some industries where we are brave enough to offer our know-how, technology and expertise, given the fact that they have been proven to be successful in many areas of the world. So when it comes to Hungarian water management technology, then you will see that from Sri Lanka to Indonesia, from the Western Balkans to Laos, we are there with our technologies and with our solutions. That's why, as we agreed with your foreign minister, one of the 4 areas to be covered by a Tide Aid credit program will be water management, where we can contribute to extend the network of drinkable water, and where we can extend the system of taking care of sewage water here in Uganda. So there will be a tangible forward progress from the perspective of your population. So Minister of Foreign Affairs coordinates between your ministries, including the Minister of Healthcare, to put together these projects. Soon, hopefully, I'll get them, and then the Hungarian government will be able to make the financial decision.
Your Excellency, we do hope that when these projects take off, you'll be around to inaugurate some of them. But also, we understand Hungary is it's renowned for its research in different aspects. You've actually talked about them. Technology is one of them, and Uganda is predominantly an agricultural best economy, and research is one of the things that can actually drive this economy to the next level. How do you intend to help Uganda to tap into this knowledge transfer?
We are in a similar situation when it comes to the change of dimension of our economies, because as you put it rightly, you are very successful in agriculture, and you base your good performance on research and development. We do the same on the field of industry, mostly automotive, which is the key, which is the backbone basically of the Hungarian national economic performance. So how we can help skills to be developed here in Uganda is through our scholarship program. Today I've made an agreement with your Minister of Foreign Affairs that we provide 20 Ugandan university students with fully state-covered scholarships on Hungarian universities every year from this September onwards. So I asked my colleague to carry out the promotion as soon as possible, to carry out the application period as soon as possible, in order your students to take part in the Hungarian university semesters from September onwards. And with that, with giving this annual framework of 20 students, we make sure that your young people will get the competitive knowledge when it comes to key areas of your industry, like IT, like water management, like healthcare, pharmaceutical industry, or other like agricultural research.
Mm-hmm. And Hungary is it's one of those very beautiful countries in Europe, and so many people go to visit your country. That is tourism, and Uganda is also one of those best countries. We've got so many tourist attractions in the country. It's a pity that you came rushing and you have not had a chance to visit some parts of this country. But I believe the Szijjarto Fair, whom I've been talking with, probably might have visited some of the places in the country. But talking about tourism, how do you intend to maybe one day come back and visit the country, and also encourage Hungarians to come and visit the country?
Your Minister of Tourism just visited Hungary during the last weekend, and he was even received by our speaker who had been here for a 4-day visit as well. So what we have agreed upon was the following. Both of our countries are very rich on hot springs, thermal water. You have a lot of wells, we have a lot of places to explore as well. And in May, our new representation here in Kampala will organize a workshop on cooperation for tourism, where we help to develop your facilities regarding hot springs and thermal waters, and we will speak about how to promote the opportunities provided by the two of us in order to make our nationals know that on the territory of the other country there are huge opportunities when it comes to leisure, when it comes to holiday travels. Okay,
Your Excellency, I think that is very, very encouraging, and we really do look forward to having so many Hungarians coming to visit, and also vice versa, Ugandans coming to visit, Hungary. And probably you last word to Ugandans who are watching us right now. What would you tell Ugandans about this country? Your few hours of your stay here.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate on the achievement Uganda has reached in the recent years, because you have not been only successful in building a growth path for your economy, but you have been taken care of many people coming to you, especially Christians from the surrounding areas. You can be rightfully proud of that performance. And based on that, Hungary will always stand besides Uganda. We will carry out and implement the development programs we have agreed upon today. And I wish all the best for the Ugandans individually and as a nation, as a country as well.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Peter Szijjarto, who is the Hungarian Foreign Minister. It's a pity he's been to the country for just a few hours and he's flying back. But we do thank you for having honored our invitation to come and be on UBC TV, and we do hope to see you some other time.
Thanks for the invitation.
All the best and nice flight back home.
Thank you.
Via that has been the Hungarian Foreign Minister, His Excellency Peter Szijjarto, who has been in the country for just a few hours, but he will be flying back shortly. And we have shared a lot in as far as relations between Uganda and Hungary are concerned. A lot of things, bilateral, agreements have been signed, and we do hope that Uganda will benefit a lot from this relationship. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. I thank you so much for having been part of this interview. I'll see you some other time, and bye for now.